You are What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 295, being recorded on February 19th, 2025. And I'm going to give Commander Bly the floor before we introduce us. Very generous super chat. Damn, these time zones. I'm old. It's bedtime. We understand.
Yeah. It's bedtime in my time zone. I can go to bed right now.
I am your host, Darth Butcher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
We got Grand Admiral Franz.
Hi.
So mellow.
When we go high, Chris goes mellow.
Yeah.
So, and we'll patiently await Ernie as he rudely interrupts our show and just comes right in with a talk. So
T-minus 19 minutes.
Yeah. Well, before we get into everything, I'm going to kick it over to Scott to introduce our Shadow Council and everybody who's being digested in the pit. I do want to stress on the Shadow Council, keep an eye out for your emails. Scott, go.
What's up, Shadow Council? Welcome back. Jesus, that just threw me off. I thought you were going to talk a little bit more, and I wasn't prepared. Special shout out to our Shadow Council. That is our Patreon crew. We love you guys. You guys actually help us keep the lights on, and we appreciate everything you do.
Except in mine. So if you guys can help out, we can light this place up.
It's a trickle down.
And our Shadow Council, that is these fine folks right here. That's AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Commander Bly, Crystal E., Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine Balanos, Matt Logic, Muftak is back, Nicholas Schaefer, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ryan and the Star Joes podcast. If you want to join our Shadow Council and take part in kind of some of the fun stuff we've got coming up, scan that QR code right there or go to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest podcast and donate a couple of bucks. Don't use the Patreon app though, especially if you're on an iOS device. Apple will take 30% of what you donate, and that's no good for anybody involved. So if you're going to do it on a phone, do it on the browser. Don't use their app. Their app sucks, etc. So thank you.
Disclaimer.
And you know what? I do believe we got some people that are currently being digested, including Justin Huber, the movie guy.
What's up?
What's up, man? We've got Commander Bly, the power of the first as second, but you know, there is a lore behind
the power of the sleepy.
The power of the sleepy. We got Stu John Jedi right there. We've got Senior Rhino Hobbies.
Yes.
We've got Don the Dad Dorn. It's podcast time. We got Mr. Dr. Senior Basil G right there. We've got Santo 1414. Good old Hal Runner Base. Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast is in here. This guy.
You can say his name.
Okay, fine.
Don't say it 3 times tonight. Though.
Don't say it 3 times. So yeah, that's the trick.
No. We've also got Meeks in there. What's up, Meeks?
What's up?
How's it going? We got Dr. Brantley.
The real doctor.
Troy Dodson. What was that?
He's the real doctor. Yeah.
He's a real doctor.
Yeah.
Yes. We've got Tim Van Gilder. What's up, man? Long time no see.
Yes.
So yeah, just drop in, say hello. We'll give you a shout out. But we've been having a little contest at the end of the night. You know, Commander Bly is always first, right? So now we've got a last off going. So whoever types last will win a prize. And right now we've got Hal Runner Base has got one. Gordon Skalski, who's not here today, he's got one. Commander Bly has one, and Stu John Jedi has one.
So it's a 4-way race.
We've got a 4-way race right here. And the prize is this 1 in 5,000 Merrick Fiend Fighter chase figure or chase vehicle from the Galaxy Squadron vehicle. So
Scott's going to drive it to you no matter where you're at. No matter
not happening.
Where.
Yes, but
I'm just going to stay on and comment last.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll do it at your house. I know where you live.
We'll see. We're doing that at the end of this at the end of this episode.
No,
whoever's last, or
going for a couple more.
Keep the tally going. Yeah, no problem. We might take into consideration
the 300th episode. We'll give it away on the 300th episode. That's
there we go.
So number episode 299 will be the last time
there you go.
You can qualify, and the announcement will come.
We're keeping a tally. We're keeping a tally. Yes. Making it fun. Yeah, Hal Runner, you finally might get something. You might, and well, maybe he just wants that Pulse subscription. That's just a Pulse subscription.
Well, you'll get this before you'll get a Pulse subscription. So
exactly. We also have Felipe check in, and also, yeah, guys. So
Hell Runner, it just got real.
It did. No one could accuse us of bribing our
people. Don't stay on till the end. That's when the good shit happens.
It really does. Yeah. It really does. Right?
It usually rattles on for 5 minutes after we say goodbye.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll end up having a post-credit scene.
One of these days,
maybe.
I can't tell. It just has to happen. That's organically, right?
That's the problem. Is every time we'll do it, we'll try to record it, and it's not organic anymore, right?
No,
we know it's recording. That's
recording doesn't work. If you know, you know. And if we should put out a behind the scenes, like a blooper reel. I have a ton of it. I have a ton of bloopers for myself. Yeah, always fun. Always fun.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly. Well, guys, going through all the new Star Wars stuff that's going on right now, there's nothing, right?
What new Star Wars stuff did you find?
Yeah, well, that's our show. We'll see you next week. Until
Tell Ernie we said hi when he comes on.
Yeah, everybody tell Ernie.
That would actually be kind of funny. All of us leave the room and Ernie pops in, and it's like,
just keep it clear.
What?
That'd be awesome.
And the chat is just like, "Where have you been? We've been waiting."
Yeah.
Oh, actually, can we
that
do
is
that?
so tempting.
Is that
Can we
possible?
do? If we could redirect him a link that I sent him, just something that's just the empty room. Oh boy. Well, in the meantime, we are 62 days away from Andor season 2. 62 days seems like a long time because, it's getting here real slow because I have started my rewatch of Andor, and I'm gonna say this right now. I'm 4 episodes in, a quarter of the way through, and it's so good. It's so good, and I actually am enjoying this more than I was enjoyed Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Kenobi, Book of Fett. I do. That's personal, right? That's just my thing. I'm tending to like the more serious, adult oriented Star Wars versus the slapsticky of the prequels and other things happening. And yeah, man, I just like this is like my 3rd or 4th watch through of Andor, right? Just anticipation of 2. I just want to get it all in, and I am so engrossed and paying attention to the dialogue. Everything makes more sense to me. Everything is hitting more real. It's not, maybe it's just me and my mindset, like I'm going in there like that, without just doing a rewatch. I'm actually like, wow, really, really wanting to like it, or something's going on. But I'm like, I think I like this Star Wars more than any other Star Wars. Maybe not the subject of Andor, but that style, that seriousness of it, that really attention to detail. And I know, like Chris had said, it's Star Wars without the magic, right?
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, as I'm watching it so far, I'm sitting there going like, Vader's around. He's around. It's just, I know we're not seeing him, and we're not talking about him, but he's there. And to just have that in my headspace, I'm just like.
But I can do that with anything.
You still have a couple of moments, though. I mean, it's like you've got the moment where the eye on the world, right, where there's Kyber flying through the sky and all that. And it still has those kind of, I mean, it's not, a lightsaber or anything like that, but it's just a little subtle reminder,
Yeah.
TIE fighters and Star Destroyers flying around and Kyber crystals flying everywhere.
It's the setting of Star Wars political background, of course.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like I said, there weren't enough. There was good imp, like internal, right? Like good stuff in there with oh my god, I just lost the ISB. Right.
Oh yeah. Didra and
that was all really good. I don't think there was enough troop stuff, or there were some time. It was fine, that part. But the magic, I get what you're saying about that, but that's like just sky stuff. That's space stuff.
Yeah.
The sorcerers.
Yeah.
The
magic. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
The true essence of Star Wars. The mystic warriors setting in a political,
like I said, and in my last rewatch, I've never hated Andor. It's just,
I understand.
Just missing that piece, and my last rewatch was much better. I'm looking forward to season 2. Like really looking forward to, because we're getting into the meat of everything. You mentioned it last week. A good conversation was, Andor doesn't really mean much to anybody. Right. It's the story going on around Andor. He's just the gravity. Right. Just everything's gravitating around him, and we'll see that all go, and we'll get to see a bunch of cool stuff. I'm sure we get the Rebel crew. That's gonna happen. And
yeah,
I think Tarkin will show up. I think we have a good chance of that. I think that there's no point to really not have that. I think the Emperor and Vader will show up at some point, at least in a hologram.
I think,
and I'm good with that.
I think with Krennic. Yeah. I think with Krennic being there, establishing the hierarchy between Krennic and Tarkin would be a very interesting and integral part of it. Yeah. Because there's some animosity there in Rogue One, right? Immediately from the get-go. It would be cool to see some of that build up in Andor. And we know that Krennic is going to be there, so why the hell not?
Yeah.
Other than, being sued by the family of.
And like I said, I think timing is everything on those things when you look in between the lines, and
it'll be cool.
Exactly.
I think we'll get not like shoved down our throat cameos, right? But important ones that make a lot of sense here. Like it makes more sense to have them than not have them. Like I keep thinking putting Hondo in places, right? Because I want to see Hondo.
Yeah.
But I mean, like really, in this time of the Empire, if you're not seeing the Emperor,
right,
and you're not seeing Tarkin and Vader, it's weird.
Yeah.
You're gonna get I don't know where Krennic, like you said, the hierarchy. I don't know where Krennic falls in the. We know who the three are. I don't know where Krennic quite.
Ernie, you're way too early, so I'm going to put you in the lobby. And we had you at 19 minutes in, so if you could just kick back a little bit.
Give us 3 more.
Yeah. With Chris's bad throat, we shouldn't be shoving anything down there either. So, yeah, just stay safe. And,
Whoa.
Keep up on the honey, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
See that? If you don't give them notes beforehand, this is what happens.
Came in, I heard shoved down my throat. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just real fast. We're just getting up to speed on Andor and like a rewatch and everything. But we are also checking in with Joey is in the pit. Commander Bly says his wife doesn't believe in Star Wars. Well, it's time to make her believe it.
Don the Dad Dorn did really well, and Don the Dad Dorn trained Julie to like Star Wars early. So Jules likes Star Wars.
Troy Dotson is saying that Andor is the Jason Bourne of Star Wars. Yeah. I'm just like
less
funny.
cool.
Well, like I said, it was funny because like when we were all into it, we were watching and everything was great about it. It's like I said, it was just one of those things that was visually stunning and visually everything else. And it just kind of got me. But doing this watch again, I just was like sitting there going, I think I enjoy this more than I do like a Skeleton Crew style Star Wars, that more, tongue in cheek, more not slapsticky, but very, not really serious, not really dangerous, right? I mean, I don't know. And again, maybe it's just a personal thing that I'm going through with, like, say, maybe I just want this, I always tell you guys, if like, burning house situation, you run in, it's only Star Wars you can grab, right? It's like, what's the first thing I'm grabbing? Of course, original trilogy in one hand, prequels in the other hand, right? But within that, I am this pinky is grabbing Rogue One and Andor at the same time.
Well, I have most of those on my phone, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab other stuff. Like, I got you.
yeah. You know what I mean? But more so than like, I get you. I mean, I love Ahsoka and I love Mando, but I'm just like, I'm not saying this is better,
dude. It's different quality, and Andor is movie theater quality,
yeah.
Right? So is Skeleton Crew. Really, if we're looking at quality, those two are probably the top quality shows as far as visuals and movie quality. But they also have big time movie directors to them, right? So that's part of it.
Trevor, you're right. The word is fun. Skeleton Crew's fun. There's fun aspects of the Mandalorian. There's fun aspects of all the other ones.
And that's the part of the magic that's missing out of Andor as well.
Well, but
K2 is going to fix that.
K2 will fix it. Yes, absolutely.
BMO, or was that his name? BMO or
B2 Emo?
B2 Emo. B2, the emo droid. He was cool and he was cute, but he wasn't really like the comic relief.
He was sad. He was just
He was emo, and
there's really no comedy in Andor at all.
But when you get K2 in there, that will switch it up a little bit, right? And then when if should be the Rebels crew, then you have Zeb in there at that point, and that will loosen it up to a point.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think there's room for Star Wars for it all. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, though, there's been a lot of renewed talk about rated R Star Wars out there in the world, and I think that Andor is about as close as we really need to get to that.
I agree.
I get what people. I get that people want an edgier Star Wars, but what's going to make it rated R? Is it going to be language? Is it going to be gore? I mean, you're already getting beheadings and lost limbs and stuff like that in movies and in the animated series. You're missing sex and language and nudity, and I don't think those are necessary in Star Wars.
Blood.
Andor,
right?
Well, I mean, even blood. We had Ponda Baba, Walrus Man blood in episode 4.
Right.
Yeah, but what I mean is as much carnage as there is. Yeah, because to your point, they kill a lot of people.
They do, but we've even had zombie troopers now at this point. So it's like Commander Bly.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think that Star Wars needs to push that much farther than Andor. I really do think that this is the line.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there are some very violent scenes in Star Wars and always has been, right? Andor shoots some guy in the face in the first 5 minutes of Andor.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And they almost show it.
When Boba was crushing stormtrooper skulls too, was pretty good. But you don't see the door, right? But you hear it. They did a really good sound with the crushing the skull.
It's the implied violence, right? You know, it's
implied.
It
makes it R if you take that and you start showing it.
Oh yeah,
like and letting the blood spill out. Then it's
I don't think I want that in Star Wars. I don't. I know I don't want that in Star Wars. I really don't. Exactly. I think it's that border of, like I said, Andor pushes that border of just like adult Star Wars, you know. And Justin does. I mean, no R-rated Star Wars. Star Wars is aimed for 12-year-olds. Yeah, I always said, of course it is, but you know, the 12-year-olds are now 50. So you know what I mean? When
12, I didn't say the F word a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just an old 12-year-old.
You said the F word a lot then too, Chris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's more.
Exactly.
I use it properly now.
Yes.
Sentence enhancer.
Yeah. It's an art form, really. I mean,
it takes years of practice, decades.
It does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brantley, I don't want a Star Wars with just Andor. I think there's room for it all, but I was just sitting there going like, man, right now I like this. I like this better because I'm really paying attention to like everything that's going on, even though I know, you know, what's going to happen and stuff. It's just it's hitting different for me, and maybe it's the hype of Andor 2 coming, and it's the, you know what I mean, like, okay, we're getting back into this thing, and Rogue One's my favorite thing out of Disney. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, you know. Do I want it to completely veer to that style? Not necessarily, because I think they don't know how to they won't know how to do the comedy in the way Star Wars does the comedy. Even in the original trilogy, there is comedic elements. Han Solo, the droids, you know.
They haven't been able to match that.
No.
Right, and the prequels had, because it's still George, right? But they haven't. The Disney
prequels got slapsticky.
Besides Rebels itself.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to match that. Rebels is exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. They need Kirsty.
Hey, if I may interrupt really quick, I want to say thank you to our new Patreon member, Troy Dodson.
Thank you.
Troy Dodson just signed up as a Patreon member. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Your
name is going to get added on the emails soon. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And we did get a shit in season 1.
We did.
We almost got an F-bomb, which we should have.
No. I still disagree. I still disagree.
Still dumb.
Fight the Empire.
Well, I mean, you know, I could. There's just, I don't know. I like it a lot. You know what I did watch? Besides Andor, I went back and I watched. And I know I'm going to jump around here a little bit, but went back at season 6 of Clone Wars, just the Yoda arc. You know, the 3 what he goes and basically.
Oh yeah, the Lost Missions.
The Lost Missions. Now I gotta tell you, and I brought this up to you guys a while ago and asked if season 6 is canon. You know, and I can't definitely say it's canon. I can't.
It is. No, they consider it season 6, and they said it's all canon.
There's too many things. I think there's a lot of editing that needs to be done, and I'm talking about like specifically that arc, R2D2 with Yoda on Dagobah. It's like,
why would that need a?
Because R2's been to Dagobah, and when Luke says we're going to Dagobah, he never says like R2.
Luke knows everything. He never says anything to anybody about
matter.
Shit. He was at the wedding,
and that's the reason why I'm saying. That's the reason why I'm saying
he was at the wedding. He knows R2 knows the plan. R2 understands that they'll come for him when needed. R2 knows the drill.
No, R2 was just like, I mean, there was no. I mean, it's just. There's no continuity.
He knows who Vader is. He never told anybody.
And we don't know if he didn't know or not, because he had to use the X-Wing to see the translation up there. And so that's what I'm saying. Coming up.
We told R2 I'm going to Dagobah.
Yeah, and R2 could have been in the backup. Dude, that place, it sucks. And the computer translated it. Would you like to tell your friends? So, yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's not our.
I'm just saying, like, you go back to like that season 6, the Lost Missions, right? Yeah. And I'm like sitting there going, okay, you know what? I love the whole fact that Yoda arc, which did nothing from beginning to end. It went nowhere. He went through his trials and really didn't do anything.
Well, you know learned about Qui-Gon. That was the Force Ghost.
Yeah, but he never learned how to communicate. He didn't learn. All he did is learn how to defeat his own demons or to let go.
Which was awesome.
That's right. No, I think it was amazing. Yeah. I think it was amazing, but it didn't have any conclusion. He just went back to the council and was like, everything's cool. You know what I mean? There's a reason why
that's just part of Yoda's problem, which has caused the whole mess.
There's a reason why. That's why I'm saying I have to pick and choose what I think is should be canon, what not canon, because season 6 wasn't.
One of these days, I swear to God, dude, because you can't choose what's canon.
With
canon is canon,
just like our discussion of cutscenes, cutscenes that make it through. But you said yes.
Well,
you said
cutscene.
Yeah, depends on the cutscene. That's what I'm saying.
No, I mean a cut. Okay, no. Okay, there's two things: a cutscene, like in a video game, or a cut.
No. A deleted scene that's been like in the TV now. It's there, right? It's there for our viewing. It's there.
If it's never, yeah. As long as it's been on it at some point.
A theatrical wasn't out there for the masses, but it's like there, right?
But especially,
that's how. And that's
how the Goonies, like the octopus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's canon because it exists, right?
But that's how I'm choosing to view season 6 only, because there are things. Because that's why I think that's why season 6 was the Lost Missions. Wasn't never really. Yeah.
No, it's because it got canceled before that season, and they just put it out on DVD only.
Cancel it.
No,
done.
That's not how it works, man.
Pick and choose.
That's what are you on?
Pikachu has nothing to do with this.
Pikachu does not.
Right. You didn't see Pikachu in season 6?
No, that was
the only thing on the DVDs that came out with season 6 that don't belong are the actual incomplete episodes, right? The storyboards, like Boba Fett versus Cad Bane and all that, right?
Canon.
see, you have to have a definitive answer on this. Either it's all canon or
it's not canon. It wasn't finished. It's not canon. It's not
Favreau.
Canon.
We're at lunch and
John.
Even though is it, and he's like, bro, that's so canon. Like, yeah. We had to say money. Somewhere.
Rolled his eyes whenever you looked away. He's like,
show the drawing. Yeah. And I was like, what was Filoni doing? And he's like, he wanted a new car. Finished the episode. And he decided on the new car. So that's what happened.
Gotcha.
At lunch.
Okay.
It's canon.
At lunch.
It's canon.
With Filoni. Got it.
And Cad Bane gave him the dent.
You heard it here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that there's just some funny things about that aspect of like, here's the main timeline of
it's your head canon.
Of course, there's the main timeline of everything we always talk about. That's the canon, right? It's everything that's presented. We go to the movie theater, boom, a series drops, boom, it's into that line of it.
But I mean, they were specific about Clone Wars.
Season 6?
Yeah, bro. Clone Wars. They didn't say
no
1 through 5. They said Clone Wars, and they gave us a season 7.
Right? No, I get it. Because
the movies and Clone Wars.
I'm talking about that 3-episode arc. The rest of it is fine.
They're not going to uncanon 3 episodes.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's continuity issues.
They're going to uncanon some Padme episodes.
I'm just saying there's continuity issues that.
Where?
R2 on
R2 that's not a continuity issue.
Yes, it is.
He knows about the sister and brother. He knows about Vader. He was at the birth. He was at the weddings. He was at the deaths. He was at everything. R2 has seen absolutely everything, dude.
He did not know Anakin was Vader.
There has been discrepancies in canon since day one of the prequels. I mean, there just has been. I mean, they've worked around them in some ways, but in a lot of ways, there's been a lot of issues. There's no reason that Leia should have a memory of her mother. There is no reason. I mean, if George can change Star Wars, so can I. I didn't know his name was Lucas. Lucas. But there's always been discrepancies in canon whenever it comes to the prequels versus everything that came before, and it's just part of the fun of it.
I don't know,
but that's not. That's an issue with. He's having an issue with R2 not telling him something.
No, not just that. It's like
anybody anything.
It's not just like, hey, that's
like Dagobah's like the least important thing to tell him out of everything he hasn't told him.
This is what happens when there's nothing going on. It's like it's cool because this is what we do, right? I mean, that's like there are a lot of things and aspects of Star Wars that require discussion.
Yeah,
that will get Scott to just pick up a toy and play with.
Remember the sand crawler when
he needed a Tashi Station Emporium stand.
When the Jawa turned on the projector and he watched the whole history of Anakin and how bad it turned and everything.
In a book, yeah. That nobody read. That nobody read,
dude.
That nobody read.
Hang on. I'm gonna join Ernie down here because it's gonna get nasty.
I'm just not sure when all the not canon shit started. Because
I didn't say that.
I didn't canon.
I didn't say that. I said that there is a continuity issue.
But you're picking the weird one. I can probably give you 10 continuity issues, but R2 not telling somebody is funny.
It's not just that he didn't tell them. It's like their interaction when they, that you take what was filmed in 1980 and there it is, boom. And then they made a story around that they didn't pay attention to. Like, why put R2 in that situation in the first place? Did Yoda really need R2 with him on that mission?
No, what they needed was to drop off Obi-Wan and Luke to drop off Yoda.
That's
what they needed to have.
Yes, that's
the missing piece.
I 100% agree. But like, I think the more that's my issue is like R2 didn't need to be in that altogether. So therefore, because I would scrap that whole thing too because it was too much. It was too much like conflict in our minds. What that R2's and Yoda's interaction was in Empire Strikes Back, and R2 never needed to be there. He just didn't need to be there.
But he's everywhere.
I'm saying, and again, he did not know Anakin was Vader.
I don't know how he wouldn't.
He didn't.
He was
there was no way. Anakin died on Mustafar, according to everybody. Now, when they fought Obi-Wan and him, he didn't reveal himself as Darth Vader, right? And he didn't see him as Darth Vader. Anakin was presumed dead. R2 left with 3PO and everybody else. Even
R2 not had access to the Jedi security.
Oh, well, now you're forced.
R2. I have to think about it. I have to go through it real fast.
I don't know.
I think R2 would know. He was in the room when they decided what had to do with the twins.
So was 3PO, and so
but they wrapped his
Obi-Wan and 3POs.
And obviously Obi-Wan and Yoda know, and I mean, come on.
But they don't know Anakin's Vader. But yeah.
Setting up the kiddie pool for chocolate pudding wrestling between Mooch and Chris.
That wouldn't be very fun.
Is it like lactose free?
It's worse than sand. It really gets everywhere.
I like Chris, but I mean, not that. I mean,
I
asked a question. I asked a question to the chat. Is there a piece of canon that you believe causes issues with the saga overall? And this is one of those that Ken seemed to remember ever owning a droid.
Yeah, it's kind of
interesting. There's
we get technical with that line, right? He never really owned him,
He didn't, but he also didn't recognize R2 and C-3PO, who he had many, many adventures with.
Right. Well, that's the problem about building a story around an existing story.
But I wouldn't recognize my toaster at first from 1995.
But I'm sorry, whenever they come up and introduce you as C-3PO and R2-D2.
I don't remember if I had a Samsung or a Whirlpool. So remember, these guys go through a lot of droids. There would be a point where he would have to know. He would know, or he would be hiding it. It's like he's not telling him who his brother or his sister and his dad is. He's not going to pretend to not know some droids. That's easy.
Pretending.
But what's the point, right? I mean,
why let on?
Obviously, we're talking about something that was done after the fact, right?
But how many questions would that raise if he did know? Like I say, if it was an R2, 3PO, where have you been?
They were with me in the Clone Wars.
And the princess is looking for. I mean,
the big issue. Wild. Okay, all that you sit in a writing room, and then when that's presented, nobody brings this up. Or either they did and said,
in 1975.
No.
In 1998. Yeah. That's the job. That's the job of the producer and continuity specialist, right? But George Lucas was kind of like the king of all. Nobody's going to tell him what he can and can't do. So,
There it is. Dr. Brantley nailed it. Star Wars has a racist society. Droids all look alike to them. Yes.
It's so clear in the books. They make it exactly that, right? They're like the oppressed people, the droids.
Yeah. Like I said, those are the, we could honestly, yes, Chris, you're right. We can honestly fan theory around things. How R2 just letting Luke discover, or he maybe didn't have a chance to tell because Luke didn't have the translator say, hey, that's Yoda. Maybe he was saying it, but never had it. But on the way to Dagobah, he had the translator. And that's why even Luke was like, I like to keep it on manual control for a while. It's like, so was that a warning? It's like, hey, I've been there. You don't want to go there. You know what I mean? We could honestly fan fiction headcanon ourselves around these talks. But but to get us into these heated debates on the roundtable storyboard meetings, right? I was like, don't they have anybody that sit there and go, look, why are you trying? That's going to confuse a lot of people if you do it this way. R2 needs to be with Yoda. Why? Because it's cute. And we'll tell. You know what I mean? Like, he did nothing. He told R2 to stay on the ship 3 times. So, a lot of stuff I forget on Clone Wars.
I take that though, as he was going somewhere he didn't. He trusted R2. R2's R2. He's different than the other droids.
Okay.
He's got different. Yeah. He doesn't get his memory wiped every week.
That's why he's my favorite. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff with R2 why he would trust him to go. So I mean, that doesn't even flip me out.
There was a whole arc about the fact that R2 never had his memory erased. Right? They were trying to get a hold of him in order to steal all the secrets of the Republic. So,
like I said, maybe actually are different.
Makes him faster with the him and the X-wing or him and the Jedi Starfighter, right?
Yeah.
Get along better.
Maybe astromechs don't blabber them out like protocol droids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, you didn't tell me. He's like, you didn't ask.
Yeah, exactly. R2's very analytical.
Yeah, it's not my business to tell his business.
Yeah. So again, it's cool.
But he does whistle. Hey, when Leia kisses him, R2 reacts. He knows.
Yeah, he's like, stop it. Time out.
We have to get involved.
Should I tell him? Nah.
It's the time. Yoda said I would know when it's time. This is time.
You will know. Oh man. Yeah, so no, it's cool. It's cool to I haven't revisited those season 6 in a long time. Like a long time, What are
the other ones? Because that's the only one I remember.
Dooku. I know there was a Dooku arc. I don't know. I just went to that one because I wanted to see Bane. I wanted to see Bane. So
I'm on it.
Yeah. And it was a horrible Darth Bane, and it was Hamill.
Yeah, you didn't need it was an overly modulated voice anyway. It's like anybody could have played it in that.
I can tell it was Hamill, can't you? I mean, you can't un-Hamill a voice.
I don't know. It was real deep and like overly modulated. You know what I mean? I was like, I was trying
but still zesty.
Oh God, I think the Fives arc is part of season 6. So Fives finding out that
the chip.
The chip malfunction. Yes. That is
that's why they had to get it done.
Yeah.
That's why they had to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool arc for the audience, but it went nowhere, right? It didn't. Nothing was added to the story after.
We have Rex and a whole bunch of rogue clones because of that episode.
No, I'm saying like Fives figured out the whole Order 66 thing, and then before about to tell and spoil the beans, he gets killed. Nothing progressed story wise. I understand that. That's what I'm saying. It's like a novel. It went nowhere.
Yeah,
great arc though. It was a
agreed.
Great
but if he didn't do that, then Rex wouldn't have been able to fight it. Ahsoka wouldn't know all these other things. Right? It had to happen that way.
Yeah.
We've known about the chips for 5 seasons before that. Right?
Good night, Justin. Have a great night, man.
Good night, Justin.
Thank you. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I some of that stuff is like how novels work, right? It's great setup and it's great dangerous, and at the end of the day, everybody, it goes back to from how the book started. Nothing.
It's like
learned.
How Marvel does in the Disney Plus series. Then you go to the movies, right? Nothing that happens in the Marvel.
Yeah, the series don't matter.
Mean anything in the movies. Yeah.
And I bring up Big Bang and stating Indiana Jones, nothing matters.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Be careful.
Nazis still would have got that art. They still would have opened it.
Be careful of over analyzing anything from our childhood, because sometimes it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's still cool. I'm still, hey, here's the thing about.
You're feisty today. You're trying to rile me up. I can tell.
I knew.
You're bringing shit up that I'm going to be like, what are you talking
Well, I knew back in I don't know, our 50th episode or something like that, we had this discussion, especially I think around season 6, and deleted scene, and we had that same round.
Thank you again, Commander Blythe.
Thank you.
R.I.P.
Stitches get stitches. Yeah. That's so good.
Temple.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Like I said, that's why I think Star Wars works so well. Even how, like, if we had no content to go with, we could sit there and break down existing content forever.
I swear to God, I would rather take away a few things right now so we can break down the old stuff better.
Yeah,
because
sure.
Some of this stuff ties up some things now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't talk about that because I'm like, I don't know what this did to that,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. It's like really hard to go back in time and the way we used to be. It used to be like fun for all, just talking bullshit, Star Wars.
Yeah, our talks used to be, what did Yoda really mean? What did the cave scene really mean in Empire Strikes Back? That was what was the real philosophical reason of that? Was it real? Was it, I mean, like that was the talks when we had the heated debates, with back in the day. Now it's about,
and we came in the sequel time where we're like, oh, what's going to happen? And we're going to get thrown by 9.
Yes, I think we had Darth Leia, we had Thrawn, we had all these things going on, So, that's the hard part. Oh man, I heard something really. I did see this in the interview. I can't remember where I pinpointed it, but trust me, it's there. I saw something that Lucasfilm, the story team, says if it's out there in fan fiction. Oh, I know why. It was what's her name? God damn it! It was somebody who introduced her fan film and said that this cannot ever happen because it's already out there in fan in book form, EU, whatever. That Lucasfilm deliberately does not put things that have been
because they get sued. So good ideas out there can't get used because somebody's published it,
and that scares me for Old Republic. That scares
that. Happened during one of our interviews. Somebody mentioned that because we wanted a theory craft with them. Kevin Scott
on, right?
Yeah,
no, Kevin Scott. It was Kevin. Timothy Zahn did kind of say that too when we talked to him. He wasn't on the show, but we did.
Right.
But it was Kevin Scott said, "I can't theory craft on a show because that turns into an idea we can't use."
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Something to that effect. I'm way paraphrasing.
And fan fiction and old EU, all that stuff is in that bubble. So it's like, if someone made a fan film and it was great, Disney, even if it was like something that made a lot of sense, Disney can't use it.
Oh,
that
they need
sucks,
to stop listening. We need to stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna unplug
because we're really good, and most of the shit we come up with is like top-notch billion-dollar ideas.
Yeah,
so that's why it never happens. Come on, man.
Right.
They watch us, and that's why it never happens.
We were cock blocking. That's why all these last-minute decisions that change things too. They're all Starlight got into it. Damn it.
We had Hondo,
no more theory crafting.
All these cutscenes of Hondo and Galaxy's Edge.
You're gonna find in 20 years cutscenes of Hondo from every single series.
Damn it!
He was gonna
Chris
be
brought it up
show.
again.
See, Ernie, this is why Boba Fett didn't really work, because we had overly explained how it could work, and they were like, "We can't do it."
They took all the pieces that were left that we would never guess.
What do you mean it didn't work? I know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me bitch about that.
I'm waiting for Chris to be done so I can jump in with this whole Cad Bane didn't shoot his helmet, and now you're saying didn't work. What is that?
Oh man, I mean,
I'm on your side, Ernie, on Book of Fett.
All right.
I'm not.
That's Richie. They could just purchase the rights if they really wanted to, couldn't they?
I believe they could.
Probably, yeah. And they could probably get away with not giving him credit either.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
No,
I see it the other way.
Credit. Yeah.
I see it the other way of, hey, we're not going to sue you, but we're taking your story.
It just creates a lot of noise, and it's a volatile fan base. You see what Theory did when they told him not to do his thing. Yeah. Right. You
don't
turn
profit from your thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're famous because you were against the system or they were against you.
Yeah. Look what they did with the deepfake guys, right? They hired them.
Yeah.
And now deepfake. Yeah. So yes, I think if something gets to the point where it's like, well, this guy's doing it, let's just give him a salary and let's or independent contractor.
I'm saying, I think my salary now, and I'm cool.
I think that if someone I don't know.
It depends on Starlight Digest salary, because I mean, if they match that, that's great.
My career.
That means Chris is paying them.
I know, right? Like, I owe him $80 a week.
Triple mine, and then we'll see.
Well, it makes a lot of sense now. It's like, well, and it makes me wonder about the sequels then. Like, why did they do this route? Because they went and dug in their own back pocket to pull out the sequels, right? I know I'm not supposed to go on the whole sequel.
We're kind of in that mode. And we had nothing to talk about.
And, well, I'm just saying, like, maybe they're like, well, we have to kind of keep it very, very close to the heart and do things that we already know. Because if we go too different, it's already been out there. Fan films, books, EU. We already said EU is not canon anymore, or never was. But I mean, recognize it as no, that's all legends. So we can't use anything on that. That's why they could still use Thrawn because he's an IP character, but we're going to use him in a complete different way.
It makes it a Disney version of him.
And that's what I'm saying. That I saw that and it scared me for Old Republic stuff. It really did. I was like, that's just because there are some really horrible things about Old Republic too. I'm not going to just give that it's the best story in the world. When the novels came out, they really kind of threw Revan in, and I mean,
it wasn't very. The Revan novel itself wasn't very good.
No. There's a lot of stuff that was like, this is dumb, and even in the video game, that started it all. But there are also
it's the idea, the look, and the overall story, right? You forget about the bullshit eventually, just like you do with a lot of Star Wars, right?
Right.
You just remember the old Revan story as the Revan story, and you can forget the nonsense that was the filler or crap. That we'll do with most of this Disney Plus stuff in 10 years.
Yeah,
we'll just remember the main story. But yeah, no, I get it, dude. That's scary because you can screw up Revan pretty good too.
Yes,
just like you could totally screw up Darth Bane. So they're not going to use the same story there, which is a tragedy because that was an easy story to do. And
I'm telling, it's all there. Like there's source.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that story. Not just rename
the thought bomb.
Yeah, figure something else out there. But I mean, honestly, nothing needs to change out of that book besides that. Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember the blowback when George overrode the Republic Commando and Mandalorian lore Karen Traviss wrote in her novels? People were losing their minds, and a lot sided with her over George.
I don't
no memory of that,
but it does come down to it. Lucas always thought the EU was fun. He allowed it. Right. He had to okay things, but when it came down to it, the movies were the canon. Right, screen, and that's how it was. There was a ranking too, right? It was like books, TV, movies.
Yes,
comics, books, TV, movies. Games weren't even canon,
right?
And even though like Bounty Hunter was cool and it should have been,
Yeah, there's stuff in the EU that was like, that like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was just like now in the new canon. There's lots of this like the High Republic series is and then probably about a third of the books besides that.
The High Republic series is all right. It's not worth all the hype that they put over it. It's fine.
They tried real hard to do Shadows of the Empire on a big scale and blew it.
Yeah,
right? Like a multi type of thing.
Yeah.
They've got toys, they've got books, they've got comics. They made a show. It just didn't work.
Right.
Yeah. Missed a video game.
Yeah.
They should have done it.
Well, it's because they at least with Shadows of the Empire there was full commitment. Right.
100%.
Even with High Republic, it was never fully committed to, right? They didn't go into all the other aspects of it. They didn't give it its due. They just kind of threw out a bunch of books, and the books are okay. They're good, but we thought that with the Acolyte, it was all going to come together and it was all going to conclude with that.
Yeah.
They didn't do shit. Or if there was a plan, we're not going to see it because everybody freaked out over it. So
there was probably more High Republic stuff in Skeleton Crew.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
It shows like no one is headed, steering the ship. It just shows that people are just submitting projects and they're getting made, and they all kind of talk and they all kind of recognize each other, but they're doing their own thing. We're like used to like
versus the movie.
Yeah. And I mean, honest,
that's why it's good that Filoni's in his position now, right? I mean,
yes.
When do we start seeing the Filoni stuff? Have we started seeing it? It wasn't Acolyte. Acolyte was already in play.
So was Skeleton Crew.
I think
Andor
is a complete different thing, though.
Yeah, Andor was written well before this too.
So Ahsoka too. Or
Ahsoka 2 and the Mandalorian.
I think the Mando Grogu movie, honestly, next year. It takes that long to, I guess, put out what you got for content.
Yeah, I mean, it did with James Gunn too. He had to go through a whole bunch of Blue Beetles and bullshit to come out in Aquaman 2, and you had to get through all that mess.
Maybe it would be Ahsoka 2.
Yeah, Ahsoka 2 is probably it. Ahsoka 2 is before the Mando 2, right?
Mm-mm.
Or Mando movie.
I think Mando movie is the first thing to come out after it's summer next year, right? Summer of 2026,
so
and nothing else. I don't know. I know that Favreau's doing the movie. So I don't know. I'm hoping that Celebration shed some more light on it, right?
That's true.
The Celebration is in 58 days away. So I'm hoping that's what they have to talk about, because otherwise, what are they going to talk about? Andor 2.
Dude, what a waste, right?
Yeah,
they're going to put up this new slate.
Well, Rosario Dawson's slated to be at Japan, right? That I think they're going
Hayden and somebody else big was there.
I'm waiting to see where the schedule
Oscar
when it comes
Isaac.
out.
Oscar Isaac is supposed to be there. I just read that High Republic, the final novel of the High Republic, is coming out in June. It should have been over last year. Honestly, so did I. I thought that the final book that I read until it ended on a cliffhanger. I'm like, oh god damn it, really? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm reading it for you guys.
Yeah, Basil. Mando's finished filming. So, and I think it was summer of 2026. And Ahsoka, I think they're doing it now. They're in post or pre-production. I think they've gone beyond pre-production and ready to start filming.
I thought they were filming. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Or they're doing it now. Yeah. So, in my head, I think it's the Mando Grogu summer kickoff, and then you're going to see probably Ahsoka that fall.
Ernie,
2026. Yeah. Ernie, blink twice if Ahsoka's coming next year. Call Paul. Just call him. Just ask him. He's in it. He's in it.
No clue what's going on.
Yeah.
And how's Paul Schaefer going to know anything?
Those are really fun theories too. Yeah,
you guys are so fun. That's all we got this year is Andor and
filming talk.
Well, there's also more animated coming, right?
Yeah,
so we're probably going to see an animated. We're probably going to see an animated series before we end up seeing any of that too.
And the animated series are fun because they don't announce those super early.
I'm glad with those. Yeah, I could definitely see definitely see a Tales from the Jedi being or some sort of Tales of in this fall. Like
Balin is going to get one. 100%
yeah, like Celebration comes out and it says we're doing Tales of the Sith or whatever it is, and it's going to be in 3 months. You know what I mean? I could definitely see, because they've done that twice already with us.
Yeah, it's all going to be Jedi stories just told with the Sith Lord like in the background, just like Tales of the Empire was all like Republic stuff with the hint of the Empire. And yeah,
you didn't see the little question mark at the end of Empire. Tales of the Empire.
That's how they're going to finish the Acolyte Plagueis arc. Is they're going to start with Plagueis looking around the rock.
Right.
And they're going to bring it into.
I'd be cool with that.
All right. But we've also there's also the talk about the continuation of the Bad Batch, right? Or the whatever it is with possibly
the path.
I think that's that'll be an Omega or Omega story, but because
Asajj.
Bad Batch is getting an Asajj,
right?
Because Bad Batch is getting a novel and a comic book, but it's not.
That's right.
It's not after the third season. It's missions in between,
and that's stupid.
It's stories.
Yeah.
So
So
do you guys think that Celebration will get some kind of announcements? That's what I'm looking at. Some kind of an animated announcement, at least. Because otherwise, what else are we doing, right?
No, I honestly, I do think that they're gonna crowbar a Tales of in there, and I'm cool with that. And if and that'll be for this year. I'm guessing it'll be fall of this year, because after Andor, I forget what was it, Visions 3, but that's not gonna hold anybody.
Seasons 3 of Visions.
Yeah. But that's not a.
Sorry, check them out.
Yeah.
They're good.
There's a Clone Wars show coming. I think that's the Asajj Omega spinoff that we were talking about. That was going to be a Clone Wars, unless there's something different, a new Clone Wars something.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've theory crafted ourselves into it's going to be about the path, like 100, because of what Asajj said.
Yes,
we know that even
in Tales of the Empire, they mention it. I mean,
it writes itself. You can't bring up it's like introducing a gun in the first act of a movie and not shooting it by the end of the third act, right? It's you introduce the path, you all of a sudden you've got what's his ass, the Jedi Quinlan, thank you, Quinlan and Asajj, they're both there, the path is involved, it just makes sense. So
and it's funny because they mentioned in Kenobi to go backwards to bring it up, but it's how it has to, and they've done it perfectly. They've woven it together to match it.
I mean, we understand it.
Asajj knows they're going after kids. Right.
Yes.
Like it's Omega knows they're going after kids. It's perfect.
We understand it big time.
Troy Dodson. It's going to be Asajj taking Omega to meet her brother.
Oh, well, there we go. Then that'd be interesting.
Nothing to do with that. They're on the mission to find Boba.
See, now you said it. They can't use it. I mean, I say,
thank God. Okay.
John Favreau is doing the Mandalorian movie. Troy, just to put that out there.
Now, this seems might feel silly. Let's see. Let me think here. No, he won't show up. We're good. I was just trying to think. Maul's alive. Maul was alive during Andor. I was just trying to figure out there was a way. I just wanted to.
Yes,
to see.
Maul is alive during Andor, at least until through
probably to the last 2 seasons.
Where is he right now during Andor?
He might be on the trash planet or up with the Rebel crew.
You know what? Okay, so his appearance in Rebels takes place about 3 years before. About 3 years before A New Hope. Solo was 10 years before A New Hope. Andor season 1 takes place about 5 years before A New Hope.
So
he could be with Crimson Dawn. He could be with Crimson Dawn. He could be on Dathomir.
He could be on Dathomir, or he could be at this point, the third part. He's with the Rebel crew, dealing with them and messing with them. So he's involved. So at the very least, when we get the Rebel crew, we can get a mention of what's going on. Or Ezra's off dealing with Maul, because they're on Yavin.
Yes,
in Rebels. So we could cross paths with the Rebel scene where Ezra's leaving or coming back from the Maul fight with Maul's ship. If we see Maul's ship on Yavin. Okay, there's a lot of cool shit that should happen just for us, like in very small bits. So you're like, oh shit, look when this happened. Look what's going on.
Tony Gilroy doesn't think that way, though.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Tony Gilroy is not us. So that I don't think that's going to
happen. There's got to be somebody in the room. Filoni is us.
Yeah, I mean, if
Rebels is his baby.
Yeah.
And we did get Chopper. We got a Hera,
the Ghost.
Captain Syndulla, General Syndulla mentioned, and the Ghost. So, I mean, it's not like this. It's beyond question.
No, you're right. It's not like, for a cameo or some sort of, because if there are people out there listening, as far as like, the people say, hey, look, Andor, people are asking for some sort of magic and when they say magic, we know what we mean.
Yeah.
Some sort of that big, but it doesn't have to be an upfront somebody involved. It could be a hologram, it could be a poster, it could be whatever it is, because that really puts you in that mind frame of, oh crap, so seeing a ship, or like I said, I mentioned, or even if this is a Rebel crew in the same room as Andor is introduced to the Alliance, or whatever it is, it really puts, like I said at the beginning of this, was I'm watching Andor knowing Vader's he's around, the Emperor's around, everybody is around at this point, and that's so exciting to know. Even though we're not seeing them, they're there. They're just it's that world.
That's kind of that piece in season 7 of Clone Wars with Ahsoka, right? Everything that was going on, we knew exactly where we were in time. Yeah, because you were either getting a hologram when she walks in the room and you're or leaving.
Yes,
you knew what was going on. So that's type of thing, right? And you come in and you're like, if say you see Ezra showed up in Maul's ship, you're like, oh shit, he just saw Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the duel just happened. Oh shit, and that just puts you in a different spot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Just like season 7.
It's just that, and that's real continuity right there. Full circle.
Hera in the war room with everybody would be amazing.
It's just awful. Yeah, it's good.
You can even get It should. You could even get Freddie Prinze Jr. with the blind mask on, and have him done up as Kanan. And
even if the rebel crew is walking out and then they're discussing what they, like Andor with that crew's going here, now you're going here. Like, I mean, again,
right? Ghost crew,
yeah, like
what?
Some sort of discussion.
I'll even take a chopper bump into somebody and give
R2.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, R2's not there yet. Oh, R2 is there.
He's on.
Sorry, who?
Leia. Or the yacht.
Until
10 to V4.
Oh, because they showed that they were the ones to show the wipe, right? It showed them too, and then.
Yeah, they were in Rogue One, so they're on Yavin with the.
They're with the rebels right now, R2 and 3PO. Yeah. They're with Captain Antilles. So.
Yeah, it's Bail. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Bringing it full circle like that was cool. I like that.
It ended better than it started.
Well, I think the lesson of the day is continuity matters. It just
did we cover this comment real quick?
No. I saw that. So Commander Bly is saying like allegedly the new show is called The Last Clones. I vaguely recall some sort of talk like that. Like there's going to be like that last remnant of clones. It
could still, it wouldn't be called The Path. It could be called The Last Clones. And guess who's running the path? It's them trying to save.
I think it's going to be a complete separate. Like, I think The Last Clones and then The Path.
They're not going to want more Force users. They're not going to want more Jedi afterwards.
Hell Runner he's done it today. He gets banned today for this comment. Seeing the Ghost crew and Andor is going to take him out. Sorry, that's too much.
But they're canon.
Sorry, Hellrunner. You are. That's your banning for the day. So
see, that's the tricky part, right? Because they're in Ahsoka, they're in Mando, right? Ahsoka could very well be in Andor too. So is it just the fact that they're alien? See, that's a little bit problem with Andor. Andor is very grounded. So you start throwing in Hera into the room and bits and pieces. It might throw it off. It might be a total change.
Andor goes back to the traditional Star Wars where Rebel Alliance and Galactic Empire are all humans and the background is aliens. Same thing with the original trilogy. You didn't have Twi'leks and stuff and fighting, on Endor. You didn't have them. Now you will, right? And that's where the little bit of the,
is that what makes it hard? Because, and it's a different color scheme than we're used to with her, right? Like say just Hera. Just use Hera for example.
Yeah.
Her color scheme in Ahsoka, that's a brighter color scheme, right? And is very similar to hers in Rebels. You throw her in Andor, everything kind of gets, I don't know if it's grayed or greened or whatever, but it's a different tone.
Yeah, sure.
So that might be a different vibe. It wouldn't take me out though. I would still be like, oh shit, yeah, there's Hera.
As long as it's done in that way, like we said, where it's like the crew's leaving as Andor's entering, and they pick up right. And so if you see some sort of reference in Rebels, it's that meeting, it's that. Those are the things that I think the connections we all look for, right? Like, oh my God, like I said, when you walk a room, all of a sudden the hologram turns off, but it was Darth Maul, you know what I mean? And it's like, go back to Rebels or Clone Wars, and it was that conversation. Season 7 Clone Wars is a perfect example.
And we do know that Hera, Hera and the crew are the ones that rescued Mon Mothma and took Mon Mothma to Yavin 4. Right?
Yeah, and this is supposed to happen, so. Yeah, no.
That whole arc could have,
I mean, that could be the scene, right? It could be Mon Mothma coming off the ghost.
Yeah.
On Yavin 4,
The
one
thing I did not hear,
I guess the Maul piece is cooler, but yes, that's probably the more likely one, though, Scott. Actually,
And the one thing continuation pieces like that, not reshoot. We saw it in animation. We saw it. We know what's going on.
Yes.
So the continuation, like you're saying, of the walking away or something. I don't think we need the scene redone.
No.
Right? Yeah. We're good. Absolutely. We know it, and then continue on. So that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do as Andor comes back, and we start seeing the show. We can take an episode and then we could do a spotlight on where that plugs into the overall continuity with like Rebels or whatever else might be going on. I mean,
absolutely.
As long as it does.
The only thing.
As long as it does.
Right. That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Well, it really would only kind of tie into Rebels.
Only,
right?
Yeah, because it's supposed to lead right up to Rogue One. Nothing else really happens because everything else has been so far in the past. So, I mean, but it's possible it could happen to where we could almost provide that bridge like they did in Clone Wars season 7, right?
Yeah,
where things are happening off camera, but we know what's happening. So
yeah, I could even see a point where, because there's somewhere along the line where Kanan, well, in the beginning, Kanan shows himself, right? Hera already is part of it. I don't know. I gotta think through this. Where they mentioned the other Jedi, right? Where they mentioned Kanan, it would make sense for people to talk about a Jedi out there, but it's also weird because all of our lives there was no Jedi; they were extinct.
Right?
So, but Lothal happens. The Battle of Lothal happens, and all of a sudden there are no more Jedi except for Ahsoka out there somewhere, right?
Yeah,
so there could be a mention of. I don't think they'll mention
during that ISB meeting when they went over. It's like the second episode of Andor, right? When you guys do a rewatch, check it out. When he's going over all the security breaches around there, all the districts, that would have been cool to have that. Like I heard of the rumored Jedi that popped up or whatever, and so is on. Yeah, like Thrawn, and Thrawn is on that. Like that would have been. But again,
the ISB actually sending Thrawn out there to Lothal,
but like just that talk of it, because
you lower in ISB because he's the one he hooks up with Thrawn out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the one
who
was the secure. Like this planet, there's a security breach over here. It was the riot was quelled here, and he was talking about all of the planets that they had, where we're losing control or we're trying to tighten the grip on. That would have been a good time stamp of like, oh crap, and then you go back and watch Rebels, and so those are the things that Tony Gilroy, he doesn't. That's not his. He's very in tune of what he's filming. There was
enough in Rogue One that would make it work, right?
Oh, Rogue One, yeah.
There was, and that was him. So I mean,
well, it was Gareth Edwards was really Rogue One. It was him. Tony Gilroy was there as a producer and came in for the reshoots, but Gareth Edwards is the one who brought it all. I think he's more of a Star Wars guy, and Gilroy is the cinematographer. He's the cinema dude that knows the sandbox he's playing in, but for that moment, not the overall bigger picture. I think that's so.
Also, did you guys see that there was a little bit of a clip that showed the TIE Avenger in Andor season 2 coming up? Looks pretty sick. So.
Say that again.
The TIE
Avenger is going to be in Andor.
Oh yeah. I think we're going to get a lot more Imperial, stuff, more familiar Star Wars stuff versus Ferrix and all these other planets that they went on, because I think it's going to be where they can't introduce anymore. They got to put him. He's in the mix. It's it. He's in the fight. Let's go.
Yeah,
and all those things. And again, the Mon Mothma thing. She's in it. She's in big time. So yeah. And I think Andor is flying it, right?
Yes. Yeah, he is. He is in the cockpit. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well,
anyway, just fun little tidbit.
I want to see stormtroopers moving into the Death Star and with their families and being like
suitcases
forever home. Yeah,
I love it.
This is a long-term haul for us.
Yeah, this is gonna be
space U-Hauls just lined up.
Yeah,
just coming on in.
What if he goes? The guy says we have 5 years and 62 days to retirement, and it's 5 years and 61 days when the Luke blew it up.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all bringing in wheeled suitcases that are all like stormtrooper armor. They just kind of look like stormtrooper armor.
Yeah. There's your comedy.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Yeah.
All right,
Tag
guys.
and Dink. Get Tag and Dink in there. Yeah.
All right, and just have contractors walking around building it and talking about, I'm not here for the politics. I'm just here for the paycheck.
That's right.
You start going in, then you get into Clerks, right?
Yeah.
So,
at the convenience store inside.
Somewhere out there in the ether, there's a long supercut of Star Wars and everything else that pop culture has brought in, that jump cuts to that particular, talking about here's a Death Star and it jumps to Clerks and that whole discussion.
Right.
And then it goes back to Star Wars, and it's like all of these things are somewhere out there.
We were watching some movie last night. I think it was Efron. So he was in it, whatever it was. But in his house there was a pink ATST, like a taller than a human, right? And I told my wife, Mom, look, in everything, Every single thing we watch, it doesn't matter what random show we put on, you're going to get some Star Wars in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it should be jump cut.
I just somewhere out there. There's
more than 3 hours.
Oh no, there's somewhere out there. There's an 82-hour version of Star Wars.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right. Well, sounds like Robot Chicken Battle. Yeah, basically. All right. Well, that was fun. So of course we're going to do this all again next week, and I'll dig up some more continuity issues that I think that need to be put on the cutting room.
Chris can't wait.
Oh man!
So nobody argued. Nobody argued. It wasn't really an argument.
No, it wasn't an argument. You just figured out you were wrong.
Well, that's your opinion. I mean, now it's an argument. All right, now it's an argument.
Oh, I stopped. I thought you understood. I thought the lesson was learned.
No, Ernie, how was your show today, man?
I was going to put on my Sesame Street shirt again.
Your answer was like, it just was. And I'm like, no, it was like a blatantly.
I gave you an answer. I gave you an answer. R2 is everything.
You can't do that. You know this. You know the rules.
I'm telling you. R2 was
line talk and then canon. Two different things. Anywho. Thank you, everybody.
So canon. You're the one deciding what canon is. Like, I don't think that's canon because I decided. You can't do that.
I'm staring at things and I'm reporting on what I'm watching, right? So my head theories are not canon. So when I bring it to us to dissect and discuss, that's different.
Okay.
And with that, thank you everybody for checking in. I want to kick it over to Ernie to kick us out of here and let the last off begin.
I like it. All right. Yes, please do it. Thank you guys very much. Now I'm going to go watch some Robot Chicken as well. I saw somebody else, put it in there.
Damn right.
Because I believe that's all canon. That has to be. Those are
great side
stories. Yes, absolutely. Because it was there. Thank you guys for joining us. Everybody who jumped in the pit tonight as well. Anybody watching on the replay crew, hit that thumbs up. Drop a comment as well. And tell us who won. Was it Moocher or was it Chris?
You can stop there. Stop right there. It was me.
Wow. All right. So you want to be here next week. Join us for Monday. Yeah. More great shows like that.
We'll stall.
I'm pulling you in my driveway soon. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
We'll drag this out.
Yeah.
Don't forget the last person standing on episode 299. Whoever gets the final last in wins.
And we just keep talking for a while after this whole deal, so don't go nowhere.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a chase or is it a rare?
It's the chase.
It's the American chase.
It is the chase. Look at that.
1 in 5,000. So far, it's a four-way tie. Four-way tie between Hal Runner Gordon, Bly, and Stu John Jedi. So we're making a tally, man. Whoever gets more, whoever gets the most wins the Fiend Fighter
on our episode 300.
So put it in there. Bring your bananas next week. Bring a friend. Hit that subscribe button. Tally me banana. And then thank you.
We got it.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain it like Chris needs explained. I
said I got it.
Oh God.
You know what? You needed to explain. R2 is like your favorite character.
Exactly.
And you don't understand why he's been. I don't get it. But
exactly. You don't get it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications and hit all so you don't miss great conversations like these ones today and much more. You have a lot of content to catch up on to hold you off until next week, or join us for some of those special Monday shows, our reviews. We are all over social media as well on a lot. We have a what is that called again? The new chat. All the cool kids are there.
Discord.
They're hip. The Discords. There it is. Join us over there.
Discords.
Yeah, for some Star Wars talk as well too. Lots of line talk going on in there too. Lots of sharing. Lots of happy Star Wars talk. Either there or our Facebook Sarlacc Digest Central. Find us everywhere. But set your alarm now. Come back next week. We're going to continue this talk because we need some more Star Wars news, and we'll go from there. So. Yeah,
the last off is in full swing, man. It is
look at
off in the chat. Woo!
This is awesome.
But we all agree that Obi-Wan should have dropped off Yoda with Luke and Arm, right, Marco?
100%. 100%.
Okay,
we're friends
then
again.
Something familiar about this place would have made way more sense, and it would have fixed everything.
You and I are now back on the same wavelength. And
just Dagobah fighting was not.
We will do this.
Like we were going to break up, and it didn't.
Almost. I mean, we got to hit 300 at least before that. So,
is that the kind of until the kids get out of high school?
Exactly. We got to stay together for the kids, Chris. Right? Break everybody up.
Okay. Ernie and I don't want to be latchkey, don't want to have to go into the system.
You're with Marco on Mondays and with me on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, I see it at first too, going on the same time and night, Mondays at 6, both of you. And then like Scott's like, Ernie, who are you going with? I don't know. Like I'll do
this flip week. For it.
He said, I don't know, but I'll be late.
Yeah. Fashionably tell them, and then we'll see. Yes, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right. Cool. With that, Scott,
we get Christmas presents from each. Still, so
you get 2 presents.
Double Christmas presents. Nice.
It will work out in our favor, Scott.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All
right.
We can let these guys
Keep it
go.
nerdy, everybody. Keep it nerdy. Oh, hey, look.
Commander
he's
Bly
driving.
And that's the end right there. If you send money, that's the end of it. There you go.
Everybody should send money. That'd be incredible.
All right, guys. See ya.
Keep it. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.